Yo, peace, peace, salam, salam. We're gonna have the hit it back to the history corner. We're gonna do this. This is what we do, Freedom Boulevard. We're gonna spread the information that we knew as we was youngest to the new generation. We did have freedom fighters. We did have political parties. You know, everybody just wasn't trying to rap. We was rapping and we was clapping. All right, now this is a testimony from Thomas McCreary. He was a Black Panther, and I believe a part of the Black Liberation Army. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Sada Shakur was a part of this thing. I haven't read her book, so I plan on putting the audio book up on the page and maybe listen on Freedom Radio later on. So without further ado,
BLA came out of the Black Panther Party. There are other people who take the position that the concept of the BLA was long before the Black Panther Party. Uh, I think that the BLA has some of its manifestations, not all of them, in Deacons for Defense.
that's a fire name right there. That's dope. Deacons for Defense. That sound like some country Navy SEALs. You heard some old backwater ninjas. Deacons of the, oh, it's like some vampire hunters. You heard?
They came out of Bogalusa, Louisiana. Uh, some of the, some of it can be found in Robert Williams, Monroe, North Carolina. Where black people took up arms to defend themselves. Some go back to Nat Turner. Denmark Vesey, the slave rebellions. We like to think of those.
Denmark Vesey. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of foreigners, they always wonder, oh, why did the black people ever fight, or what has black people ever done? We gotta be armed mentally. You know, the war outside. The weapon is the pen. That's what we allowed to use. We got a guerrilla studies. You feel me? Just like Kwame said.
It was the Black Liberation Army from the time that black people stepped foot on the shores of North America. Um, but to answer the question in more contemporary times, I would take the position that the BLA arose out of the Black Panther Party. And that rise came about due to the counterintelligence program that was waged against the Black Panther Party and other segments of the Black Liberation Movement. Uh, the BLA was an organization. I take the position that the BLA came about, the Black Panther Party gave birth to the contemporary Black Liberation Army. This was a very
That sound clean cut right there. Contemporary Black Liberation Army. Let's learn more, yo.
difficult birth, meaning that the BLA was born in blood.
Mm.
It was premature, but the conditions of the time and the split within the Black Panther Party made
I do believe a lot of this, our revolution or the cause to change in the country was very premature. A lot of it, just like Kwame Ture said, Stokely. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we were mobilized, but suffering like animals. You know what I mean? The Panthers was getting slain. You feel me out there in them jungles. Um, should have been more time. You know. Now, mind you, this is basically 100 years from the Emancipation Proclamation. You feel me? Black people have done so much since 1865. We gotta let y'all know. Y'all need to recognize.
us have to move the way we started moving. But if we had had more time, I think that we could have did a much better job in terms of developing the Black Liberation Army. Well, it was two major factors. I mean, it all stemmed from the counterintelligence program. It, once J. Edgar Hoover started waging war against the party, uh, a lot of things started happening. A lot of Panthers started getting framed upon trumped up charges, sentenced to long prison sentences. There was a lot of conspiracy cases going on during that time. Panther 21 case, which involved Sunday Outer and a number of other Panthers. Uh, there were killings taking place through the government. Fred Hampton, uh, counterintelligence program of us organization, pitting us and the Panthers against each other.
And put the US organization and the Panthers against each other.
It's the death of Bunchy Carter and John Huggins of UCLA. Uh, Even the shootout with Bobby Hutton and whatnot, manifestation can be found within the counterintelligence program.
They shot Bobby Hutton, the police.
So those were some of the
The little boy that was being a stop sign.
conditions that
Check the movie out on YouTube, Panther. Was it 95?
forced people to have to go underground. Then there was a split within the Black Panther Party, which we now take the position that much of that was orchestrated by the counterintelligence program. It was exploited, and it started pitting Panthers against each other. And people didn't feel safe. A lot of people. This split caused a number of Panthers and chapters.
I'm gonna see what's going on in San Diego. I know they just give out food drives and stuff like that, or do like security for speakers or something. So it's just ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're serious or not, or I don't even know if they even accept me. You feel me? I'm just gonna see what's going on. See, check out the history. You feel me? Blase Splu, But he's right. Open doors, because they haven't emailed me back, mind you. So I don't know what's going on. But like you said, like a revolving door, I mean? Like that's dangerous if that leave you open. You feel me? For things, and they infiltrated most definitely. Them alphabet soups, what they call them Elroys, the Johnnies, the fucking
Around the country to be expelled. I just want to clarify some things in regards to the split. There are those who take the position that it was East-West Coast split, but the split was much
not the East West Coast. Oh, the feds split us up just like they did with Pocket Big. They had the East West Coast thing with the revolutionary parties.
deeper than the East-West Coast thing. We need to be real clear on that.
Mm.
New York Panther 21 was on trial. They were expelled from the Black Panther Party. And that's prior to the New York chapter being expelled. They expelled the Panther 21 was expelled.
Panther 21, we gotta check that out. It's the New York Panther 21. Sure.
And then later the chapter was expelled. But not only did that's New York being on the East Coast, but also the LA chapter was expelled. It's a West Coast thing. Geronimo Pratt was expelled from the Black Panther Party. So you had leadership here on the East Coast of the Black Panther Party on the East Coast being expelled from the party, while the Panther chapter was left intact for a short period of time before they were expelled. You had people on the East Coast decided to go with Huey. For example, the Baltimore chapter, they went with the West Coast. So it was not
the Baltimore went with the West. See, it wasn't as simple. He's trying to explain it, but propaganda try to split us like
split was much deeper than the East-West Coast thing. It had a lot to do with the leadership of the party at that time. It had a lot to do with police repression that brought this about. The split in part was brought about due to the counterintelligence program. And due to the pressures that the counterintelligence program was placing upon the party, there were those in leadership, and some of their thinking was that they wanted to de-radicalize the Black Panther Party. They took on reformist, things that they were doing in terms of organizing the masses of people. There are those that say that the Black Panther Party existed for 16 years, from 66 to 82 or 83. Then there are those who say that the party existed as a revolutionary organization from 1966 to 1971. And in 71.
Yeah, I think Stokely, he had I don't know if he was expelled or he left or moved to Africa. But yeah, all this legendary stuff was within a span of short years. And these people was very young. You feel me?
One, well, that was when the New York chapter was expelled and whatnot. We on the East Coast, not well, I won't say East Coast. We're here in New York. We had a very short run in the Black Panther Party. The party came to New York in the spring of 1968, and by the summer of '71, it was over with for us.
Mm.
You know, we had a 3 year run in the Black Panther Party, but it was a very intense 3 years, very, very intense. I mean, we crowded, I would say, 30 years into those 3 years. In those 3 years,
You said they crowded like 30 years in the 3 years. I know they was active up in New York, for sure.
due to government repression, left an indelible mark among members of the Black Panther Party. You know, a lot of people were still who were in their 60s, late 50s, who are still affected from that period of time. It had a profound effect upon a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are still damaged from that period of time. But you have people with psychosis. You have people who have mental disorders. You have people who took to drinking and drugs, alcohol, post-traumatic stress disorder stemming.
Damn. These is all real symptoms of being at war, you know? It's disrespectful when we try to tell other peoples about these things. Oh, what's wrong? You guys had a bro. You guys don't haven't been through war. We had Tulsa. American planes drop grenades on us. Black Wall Street.
from that period of time and whatnot, nervous breakdown, a whole assortment of ailments that came out of that period of time because, you know, you had what you had young people. The average Panther was between the ages of 17, 22. That was the average age of a Panther, 23 maybe. But when you got to be 25, 30, you
Those young, those I mean some young riders, man.
considered old. Elders, we refer to elders Papa Rage. You know, Elders was in his
Papa Rage.
30s, you know.
Hey, yo, that name go hard, Papa Rage.
So that was considered old. So you had a lot of youth that came into the party, and they gave it their all. It was very committed and very, very committed young people who came into the party. We lived in a time in the 1960s when it was a very tumultuous decade. You know, it was an exciting time. You know, and we were in a position to bring about some major changes in this country. You know, it was at a point in time when we really could have came very close to changing this government permanently. You know, and I've never, in my study of history, I've
They almost did. They changed it. I know a lot of them gun laws changed because they didn't like how brothers was using the law. They changed, man. I mean, like knowing the knowledge is power. You know, it's definitely iconic. But we really need to know about these things. Make it our culture because it is. Shouldn't be separated. Should be celebrated.
never known any other time when we came that close to bringing about a revolution in the United States. You know, which would have affected our lives. We'd be in a much better place today. I would think that in the beginning, that Bobby and Huey, having an understanding of Marxism, Leninism, and Maoist thought, they and the overall black movement at the time, a lot of elements of the black movement knew that we would be in for a protracted struggle, and that we knew that we would have to have a military apparatus to even defend any type of organization for security and other aspects that an organization of that type would need. Uh, in the early days of the Black Panther Party, it was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. So arms was a very key factor in the development of the Black Panther Party. In terms of its military wing, Bunchy Carter, Deputy Minister of Defense for the Southern California chapter of the Black Panther Party, LA.
Punchy Cardi, man, legendary, man. Damn. They put the US organization against the Panthers, then disheveled them. That's how the devil work. This should sound like the devil, right? Don't they sound like the devil?
He came into the Black Panther Party after prison. after having met Eldridge and
Before he met Eldridge, he was dealing with the NOI also out there in Los Angeles. Is the NOI, Nation of Islam presence out there. But I believe Eldridge Cleaver got him more for the NOI stuff and more so to the Panther Pan African, I mean, concept. Like remember my grandfather said, a lot of the ones back then that still wanted to drink and you know have relations with whatever type of women, they went to the pan, the dashiki side. Then the ones that got clean cut kind of was NOI. You know what I mean? These are all time periods that mesh and coincide together. It's wonderful history.
Folsom. I think they were in Folsom. Bunchy was a brother off the street. In political terms, we refer to as the lumping element. Bunchy was the leader of a very strong and large gang in LA called the Slauson Street. Bunchy
Original gangsters right there. Word. Yo, Bungie definitely. I was doing some research on him. A legend, man. Rest in peace.
virtually coming into the Black Panther Party brought a whole military wing into the Black Panther Party. The LA chapter, they recognized from
He brought the whole military wing to Black Panther Party. They said Bungie was rolling deep.
the very own star that it would be a need for an element of people underground element to protect the party. They created a thing called the Wolverine, the Wolves, and they
Said there was an element to protect the party. The Wolverine, the Wolves, that go hard too. The Wolverines, hey yo, we gotta figure out who the Wolverines was. They said that was like a basically like a crack unit to protect the Panthers. The Panthers, well, I guess the Panthers really was giving out food and you know what I mean, marching and yeah, you feel me? Probably had like boom the special op Panthers, the Wolves. That's wild. I never knew that.
function. A lot of those brothers never became known as Panther members. A lot of them did recruitment and other things for the Black Panther Party. Now, you had a lot of people come into the Black Panther Party that was Vietnam vets.
Mm.
With Geronimo Pratt. They had military expertise, and they put that to work for the Black Panther Party. I mean, it saved a lot of lives, and it prevented more provocations and shootouts than probably would have taken place. The party being an organization that had an open door policy, which allowed for all kinds of people to join the party. You know, it was a party, but anybody could join the Black Panther Party. And even though it had a security apparatus and tried to screen out people, that open door policy allowed for a lot of informants and agent provocateurs to come into the.
You have that open door policy, then being open to the people, passing out pamphlets. That's why I'm glad, you know what I mean, the Panthers haven't emailed me back or responded, nothing like that. I'm just seeing, what they got going on. You know what I mean? See, maybe they be planting some avocates or something, you feel me?
Party and create havoc and disruption. You know, I would say that there were Panthers, especially in the LA chapter, who never became known to the public as Panther members, who did things for the party, a military fashion for the party, and protected the party. And I would suppose that existed in other chapters around the country. There was always security apparatus, but the formation of the Black Liberation Army uh, really took off when the counterintelligence program from 68 to 69 on, when the heat of all that was coming down and Panthers being murdered around the country, that's when the BLA was having its formative years. You know, in contemporary time, because we talked earlier about the BLA having a concept going back years and years and years before that. And the BLA, you know, why it got its birth from the Black Panther Party. Many people came in, not well, some people, a lot of people who were never Panthers became drafted by the Black Liberation Army. Uh, the BLA, one of the things that I was proud of the BLA was is that it was never ever infiltrated. That's not to say that people didn't get captured and give up information, but it was never infiltrated because you didn't join the BLA or pick the BLA picked you.
Wow, that was deep right there. BLA. Now I need to do some more research on the BLA. Most definitely. I think Ashada Shakur Matulu and them, you feel me, was a part of the BLA or something like that. And it's just rich history. I get happy. I get excited looking about this. If you watch the end of this video, put a fist in the comments. You heard? Thank you very much. Peace and black